Welcome back, everyone, to Merge Conflict, your weekly developer podcast about all things in the wide-ranging, amazing world of software development. I'm one of your co-hosts, James Montemagno, and the man with plenty of sunlight coming through those beautiful, beautiful windows, Mr. Frank Krueger. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's going very well. I'm a little thrown off because we're side by side now. I'm used to being below you. That's where I'm accustomed in my life. James is above, I'm below. But in our new podcasting software, I'm to the side. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, you know what you can do is you can right-click on me and then do picture in picture, and then it'll pop out, and you can put me wherever you want. You can put me on another monitor. I got you on my teleprompter right now.
Oh, that's a good place for me. But I'm just going to put you right back where you were because that was actually fine. Yeah, they changed our software, James. Why did they change software? Shouldn't software, like, if it's working, just keep it working? Because people bought the thing that's working. So you should just, give them that, not something different. Because if you give them something different, they didn't buy that different thing. They bought the first thing. It's a little bit tricksy, isn't it? Like, this whole updating software thing. I don't like it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the issue with, I don't have a problem with updating software, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The problem that I have with it, because imagine you're a brand new person going into Zencastr for the very first time. The software is new to you. It's brand new. It's an unattained world. The problem that we actually have is the lack, and this is for both new users and existing users, is the lack of onboarding for new users, and also the lack of onboarding, which is different, by the way, for existing users that just came into your software and like, what's going on here? So the problem I did get an email from Zencastr. They're like, new version, here it is. I was like, cool, that sounds great. I'm like, I better log on 10 minutes early because I can't figure anything out. I used to go to this URL. I used to log in. It'd be like, merge conflict, enter recording studio. Nope. It just shows me all the episodes. There's no button. You know where I got to go to? I have to go to the AI chat for our podcast.
Oh, do you?
And
request a new chat.
I have to request a new chat. And the new chat is the podcast episode. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm so confused.
Like when sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
But if they just had an arrow that's like, hey, welcome back. You've only been using the software for 10 years. Welcome back. Here's where you need to go to get to the recording studio. Boom. Good to go.
I do hate making every episode about AI. It feels like that's all we do all day, but maybe that is what we do all day. But nowadays, like, you have no excuse. Like, I think I keep talking about documentation on the podcast because I'm like, that's been the great innovation for me with the AI stuff. It's just like, hey, go look at the old version, go look at the new version, and can you write an onboarding doc? It would take it like 30 minutes, less probably, and it would just write a doc. Doc might not be good enough for you. Maybe you want a video or something, but it is kind of cool that it's good and bad. We don't have an excuse anymore for bad documentation. All our stuff should be well documented now.
It's kind of crazy, and you can just kind of do anything. So Configurator, which is for Oh My Posh. So I was talking to Jan, who creates Oh My Posh, and he created for his documentation a WebAssembly version of Oh My Posh, so that emulates the terminal that shows you one-to-one mapping. And I was like, bro, that's so sick, because like I've been basically trying to redraw everything.
Re-implement.
So I know, which got pretty close, but I can get one-to-one. So he was like, bro, I just like told AI, I was like, you know what? I bet I could just tell AI to do it. And then he's like, I just told AI to do it. And then it did it.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's awesome. So then what I did is I was like, dude, I got to get that into the configurator, because I own with him now configurator.ohmyposh.dev. So like I got to maintain that puppy, right? It's like official source. And I wanted to link to it from the docs, which he now does, which is really cool. So you can like open from the docs anything in configurator and then customize it. So now you have the studio beta, which is what he calls it. When you initialize studio, it downloads a WebAssembly version, and it is like a one-to-one mapping that's running this puppy. And again, I just told AI to do it and it did it. But even better, this used to have like a funky theme. It was like a dark blue neon theme. And I was like, no. Go look at the Oh My Posh website, which is open source, and match the color scheme one-to-one. One-to-one, baby. And then I want it to be exactly, so I went through and like had it retheme everything, light mode, dark mode, all the things on it. And yeah, this puppy is great. And it's just like, you can just tell it to do it and boom, it's doing it. And I love it.
Side topic. It is funny how every time you tell these things to generate a website, it's like, how about blue to purple gradients? Have you tried a blue to purple gradient? I'm an AI. I do everything in a blue to purple gradient.
Mm.
It's just kind of funny. Every single one of them, it seems to be the default mode.
You gotta
This looks
use
great.
you gotta use impeccable, the
Right.
impeccable design.
Which I
Now,
believe has a blue to purple gradient.
I don't know. Well, you can see LocalMorph, localmorph.com, which
Okay.
I would say has I don't know. It's got, well, I don't know if you have the old version or the new version, but it'll update. It's a static web app. Yeah, localmorph.com. So I threw up impeccable at it and I was like, go
Mm-hmm.
for it. And then it made like a very beautiful design. I don't know. It's light blue. It's got lots of whites. It's got cool fonts. It's got like these cool drop shadow things. I don't
Okay.
know. It's pretty decent. I mean, comparatively to the blue and purple that it was before. So yeah.
It's just a funny default. I just like how, scraping every website in the world, it's decided that that's what 2026 looks like. Blue to purple gradients.
Blue to purple. Yeah. Well, I will say though, Caption Stack, which is another one. I don't know if Impeccable did this one. It might have captionstack.app, which allows you to convert subtitle files because I love that. I got to do
Oh
this. I
yeah.
got to do.
I knew the name. I out of your 8,000 URLs or domains you own, I couldn't remember which one that was.
Well, so okay, so I did this. So recently, LocalMorph
Yes.
is really unique. So LocalMorph, I wanted to harness the power of FFmpeg WebAssembly version to do file conversions in your browser.
Rad. Super rad.
It's super rad, but like is not good.
Oh, why not? Why not good?
It's
I haven't used it, to be honest. I like the idea.
I love the idea. It's inconsistent. It's slow. I don't know. It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily always work. Like I did a move to MP4 and then all of a sudden like there was no audio and I was like, what happened here? So
They didn't pay the Apple codec licensing fee. That's what happened. You'd be surprised
maybe.
how much. That's why the FFmpeg is always a little weird to set up sometimes. It turns out a lot of that AV stuff is licensed, James. I'm not
Yeah,
sure you know that. No
it
one pays
definitely
for the
is.
license. So
Oh yeah.
it's always kind of funny. Any of it works, to be honest.
Well, so what I recently did, so there's two things I recently did. I said, dude, what if I could use your local FFmpeg? What if I created a bridge
Oh, God.
from the
No.
browser?
No. Don't do it.
So I
You're
did.
breaking every security model ever developed for the web. How
No,
are you working around those?
there's a bridge URL and a pairing token, and it's like boom.
Wow.
It's just automatic, and it's a .NET 10 it's a .NET a DNX it. You DNX
Okay.
localmorph.bridge. You can copy that command in.
It opens up a proxy so anyone can log into your machine.
No,
Everyone's granted SSH into your
there's
machine.
pairing tokens. It's a whole thing. It's all this stuff randomly
Okay.
generated every time you boot it up.
Okay.
It's kind of like how Aspire works, where it like boots up a
Yeah.
randomly generated token. So as it boots this up, the first time I
Mhm.
asked it to do it, just like wrote it in Rust for some reason. I was like, no. I was like, no. I was like, no, let's stop it. Stop. I was like, go look at my like other DNX tool, my podcast metadata
Yeah.
generator. Go see how I did it. Cause that's really nice. You can just DNX localmorph.bridge, boom.
Mhm.
You got to have the .NET SDK, but boom, good to go. And it totally works great. It literally like
Okay,
will
cool.
do it on your machine. Super one-on-one. So if you're doing file conversions, bam, 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 you get a beautiful GUI for FFmpeg. And then today I was like, dude, you know what I should just build? Just like a MAUI app. Like I just build an app,
I
dude.
know.
I'm at this
know.
point, like just build the app. So then I
Do you
did. I was
think-
like, bro, go over here. I shot over Kimmy K3 to it. I said, bro, go do this, break it down. And then I used MAI Code 1 Flash, Code 1.1 Flash, which just came out today, which is
30% discount, 25%.
It's 73% cheaper while being 25% more token efficient and faster than the previous Code 1 Flash.
Yeah.
So I threw that at it and I was like, dude, implement this plan. And then it did it. And then literally within 30 minutes, I had like a native app on my desktop with .NET MAUI for Windows and Mac. I was like, boom, done.
Boom.
Which crazy. It was ridiculous.
I have a few points. Point number one, cool. I actually do appreciate it. I was just joking with all the security stuff. Who cares about security?
Cool.
It's actually, yeah.
Cool.
It is because, like, my second point is: do you think every developer out there, maybe once a year, thinks about writing a front end to FFmpeg? Because, like, I feel like just last week I was thinking, you know what FFmpeg needs is a front end, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm the first developer in the world to ever think of that idea. And then you realize FFmpeg it's not an app; it's 50 different apps with whatever 50 years of history behind it, so it's
Yeah.
impossible to write like a front end for FFmpeg. You have to like pick a slice of its features and build a front end for that. But I just thought it hilarious. I had that terrible thought of, I should write a front end for FFmpeg. No, you should not, Frank, and neither should you, listener. No one should be writing front ends for FFmpeg except for James, because he has like infinite credits or something.
You know what, your front end for FFmpeg is an AI. Like,
It is.
I literally,
Yes.
so John Gallo and I talk about this all the time. I'm like, hey dude, I got a bunch of files. What do I do with these? I got to convert them. He's like, okay, open that folder. He's like, open that folder in Copilot, type in Copilot, open the CLI and say, hey bro, I need you to convert these from this and that using FFmpeg. And it's like, oh yeah, I could do that. And what's even crazier is, like, I was doing this and on a new machine, it was like, hey, you don't have FFmpeg. You want me to install that for you? And like, I'll just brew it. I'll just win get it. And you're like, okay. And like, cool, we're good. We're good here. I installed it for you. Like, all right, you know. But it's kind of crazy because, yeah, I mean, you can build anything. I mean, to your point, Mark Rusinovich and the crew ported Zoomit, one of my favorite tools for presentations on Windows, over to Mac, which I have installed now. So I can zoom, I can draw, I can do all this stuff. And he talked about in his video how he just basically pointed the Windows, pointed the AI, the Copilot at the Windows version. I was like, hey, dude, make this a Mac app, and then do all the research, the planning, and all this stuff. And then boom. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's the most beautiful setting screen I've ever seen in my life, but it's a good V1 for a vibe. And like, it works pretty good. And I was like, oh, it's pretty decent out of the box. Then other people were like, hey, I did this. And I had some people like reach out to her, like, I did this like 7 months ago. I did this a year ago. I was like, that's cool. Like, show me the repo. And then the repo is like, untouched for 7 months. There's a DMG just like checked in. It's like one feature is implemented. It's like, well, that's great. I'm like, you made it. That's awesome. Like, that's awesome because you did it. The actual hard part is productizing it, shipping it, getting it into the App Store, getting your CI/CD for Brew or Winget or all these other things set up. And I should know because I spent the weekend holiday hacking my Fire number, which, as you know, is my Fire number. My Fire number.
Keep up with all your apps. Which one is this one? I've forgotten already.
myfirenumber.com, which is all Fire calculators for financial independence and retiring early.
That's right. Now I remember this one. This is like a year ago. Okay. Yep. Yes.
It's
financial back, fires. Got it.
Fires. Yeah.
Fires with people's money.
Well, I created this retirement cash flow because let's say I retire at 60. I'm going to need to know, like, how much do I have every year, right? Like, based on... Yeah, I do need to know.
Wing it.
Frank.
You could wing it, man. Just go for it. You're going to turn 60 one way or the other. Does it really matter?
Well, I would like to know if I'm well prepared or not, Frank Kruger. So,
okay.
So I was vibing out some stuff. And I was like, so I was like, hey, I made this new cash flow calculator. It's new because there's a few things that are kind of unique to my situation that I wanted to incorporate that other calculators didn't have. So I was like, I'm going to make my calculator because that's what I do, Frank. And then Mr. Tim Hewer was like, yeah, like, I like your calculators a lot, but made my own iOS app. I was like, bro, you built an iOS app before me. How rude. How rude of you.
Yes.
How dare you? So I spent the entire weekend.
Oh, no.
Spent the entire weekend. I spent like 3 hours, but I put it into, did I send this to you? I must have sent it to you. I put it on the
try
Twitter.
To keep up with all your apps. Did it make it to test flight? That's how I judge weekend projects now. Do they actually get to external beta testers in test flight? That's the test. Anyone can get to internal testing, James. That doesn't count.
Bro, is it a public beta test flight approved for public beta testing?
Wow.
It is only on iPhone, not on Mac. So
you got approved? That's the harder part these days, to be honest.
Dude, I used MAUI Sherpa to set up my entire certs provisioning profile, set up the CI/CD environment variables for me, and boom, the whole production pipeline was done that fast. It was
That's pretty
wild.
great.
And it did it. It all got it set up. It's good to go. And dude, the icon's pretty good. Pretty good. It's got a little fire in the middle. It's like,
yeah,
little fire number. Get it?
Is it a new icon? I can't tell because Apple refuses to turn on any parallax, or is that a baked icon?
I don't know.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. You vibed it.
This one's baked. I need to update it so it's baked, but I don't
know. You really don't. I got all excited. Wow, we are all over the place today. I got really excited for the new icon format because like they were going to finally add some like 3D effects to everything. I just installed iOS 27 on all my devices, not all my devices, most of my devices, and you still can't tell the new icons versus the old icons. Like they have really nerfed that feature. Like you can barely tell. Like I squint at it and maybe it shifts by 1 pixel.
Man. They could do some cool stuff with it. Like ideally, like that could be like a little glowy, little shimmer.
I am running your app using.
Oh God.
Well, this is an ARM Mac, so all Macs are ARM now. So I guess this isn't even the Mac OS one. This is probably the iOS one, isn't it?
It's the iOS one. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, it's working. Your tiny educational, informational purposes only font is very small, appropriate for a financial app. I have no disclaimers here. Make that text as tiny as possible at the bottom. But it's green like money, or at least green like US money used to be. Yeah. So pretty cool.
Pretty good.
I'm moving sliders. I have no idea what they mean. Can't wait. I think I'm going to survive 60. Oh, current age. Bump that up. Ooh, wow. The older I get in the current age, the closer the retirement age gets to the left. That's a little bit scary, James.
You like that?
Save defaults. Take the fire quiz.
Ooh, fire quiz.
I'm minimal and frugal. I have no idea what I put those sliders to, but I am minimal and frugal. I'm gonna leave paid work. I'm not sure what that means. The font's too small to read. I'm going to. How soon would you like to read financial independence? Well, that's never going to happen, so I'll say not sure yet. What matters most in your FIRE plan? Build FI, financial independence, I assume.
Yep.
As soon as practical. Build financial security. Not sure what the difference is between those two. Maintain my lifestyle. That's not going to happen. Create more flexibility. I need to buy at least 3 Apple Vision Pros per month when I turn 60. That's just a requirement. Create more flexibility. No, I already have too much flexibility. I can put like my foot all the way behind my head. So build financial security. I'm going to go with that because security is good.
Security's good.
Standard FIRE. I'll take the standard. I don't like to pay for pro.
No pay.
I don't know what any of this stuff means.
It's okay.
What does it mean? Okay, there's a graph here, and then the graph at the bottom goes up. The green goes up. I don't know if that's good or not. The yellow does not go up much, and then there's a less pretty one.
Yeah.
My FIRE number is $1.6 million. Well, I guess I'm gonna die when I turn 60. That'll be fun.
Frank. Okay, it's really not this. It's really not this difficult. People. Okay, so when you go in, Frank is currently in the standard FIRE calculator. You put in your current age. You put in when you want to retire. Okay. You put in your current savings, how much you're putting in, what your net income is, and what your what you think your expenses will be when you retire. Mm-hmm. And it'll basically just like create it. It'll tell you what you need. Your FIRE number is how much money you need to have currently to retire with your FIRE number.
To retire today or to retire when I turn 60?
To retire today.
Oh, fascinating. So years to FIRE, 30 years. So I believe that says I'm going to be working until I die. That'll be good. If anyone needs an artisanal app developer, please let me know, because according to this, I'm going to have a few rough years ahead. So please let me know.
There you go. I mean, it kind of makes sense. So let's say I'm 40, and let's say my current saving is $50,000, right? Okay. And then I put in, let's say, $2,000 into there. Let's say my net income is 72 grand. Making pretty decent money. And let's say my expenses right now are like $50,000, right? A year. Okay. Expected stuff, all good. So that would tell me that that my FIRE number is $1.25 million to like retire fully. And I wouldn't be able to do it. I would need 67 years to be able to do that, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're
Just
worse off than
too
me.
much.
Good, good, good. I lived through Schadenfreude. Good.
But I'm 40, right? So let's say I didn't have $50,000. Let's say current savings, investments, the
Mhm.
total dollar amount. Well, let's say I've been saving up and I got $500,000.
Woo.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
sir.
I've
Sure.
been 20 years contributing to my 401k, grinding
Look at you.
away, boom, boom, boom. And it says I could retire in 22.5 years,
You're gonna be
basically.
old too.
Right.
You're
But
gonna be
that's
old,
if
buddy.
I'm only putting in $2,000 in contributions, but I'm a FIRE person. I'm not just saving $2,000. I would be saving maybe like, let's say $30,000 if I'm making
Wow.
$70,000. Yeah, I'm frugal, man.
Well,
Boom, I can
22,
retire.
but yeah.
I can retire in 12 years.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the difference is like what you're trying to get to that number. So what you're trying to do is say, here's my annual contributions, here's my net income. And then it's really just a calculation of here's how much I need when I
Mhm.
retire, like to live. How much do
Yeah.
you have? And then there's just calculations, right? So like right now I'm at 40%. So it's like every month I'm putting in X amount. And these are just fictitious numbers. But then you see the chart and graph and it'll show you when you hit certain numbers and when it will grow and when you'll hit those specific things. And then you can just withdraw 4% every single year. So boom. This is fire. This is fire.
Okay. It seems like a very, very complicated way to worry about the future. I'm able to worry about the future without complication. It's innate to me. So I don't really need numbers to help me worry. But this is if you're not worried about your future, this seems like a good way to create worries like that.
Well, if you don't want to worry about fire stuff, there's also just like, you know, normal like debt payoff and you have like savings and
Yeah.
retirement rates. But then my favorite one is my new one, which is the retirement cash flow. So what you can
Hmm.
do is you can say, hey, listen, like, here's my current age. Here's where I think I'm going to retire. Just say 65. And then you just say, what's your current annual expenses? And then you just put in your accounts. Here much is in your savings, your 401k and whatever. And it'll be like, cool, this is how much you're going to have, like, based on the
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
So then you can say, oh, if I'm going to retire at 65, I'll have this amount of money, right? Every month, basically, to live
Well, now
on.
that we're a financial podcast, I'll just say, like, some of this is just too hard to figure out. I
Mm.
believe in the goldfish principle, not in the memory forgetting goldfish, but a goldfish grows to the size of the pond.
Yeah.
So if you have $50,000 to spend in a year, guess what? You're going to spend $50,000. If you have $100,000 to spend in a year, guess what? You're going to spend $100,000. So I think this doesn't take into account the adaptability of the future and how you'd be willing to change your lifestyle depending on different
Totally.
circumstances.
Totally. No, 100%. I mean, that's just like, these are just normal fire things. However, it does bring up a good point. Like, I do wonder if I can simplify the number input, and like really, like there's just a lot of number entries, but
Yeah.
maybe really I can be like, oh, let's simplify this down. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it even, so I can even simplify it even more. You know what I mean?
Get me down to like 3 sliders. How
3
much do I
sliders.
make? How much do I spend in a year? And what are my outstanding debts?
Yeah.
When can I retire?
Yeah.
Because ideally, the debts will go away at some point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just die with debt. That's an option too.
It's an
I have a
option
book
too.
called Die with Zero. I think that's a
Bought it
very
for you.
ambitious goal to get to.
I bought it. Yeah. Got to do it. I bought that for you. It's actually in the recommended books. If you go to the Homes tab and you scroll to the bottom,
Is
it's
it?
in there. Yeah.
Is that a fire thing? I
Yeah.
still haven't
Well,
read it.
what? Oh
I'll
my
get to it.
God.
I'll get to it. I understand the principle. It's an excellent title.
If you click on that
So-
link, Amazon affiliate, it even has a disclosure on the bottom.
Oh,
Wow.
look
Good
at you.
citizen.
You're such a good businessman.
I'm a good businessman. Thank you. Anyways, way too many apps, way too much time to do that. Okay, let's talk really quick about Frank's rant of the week.com. Frank
James,
says,
AIs are bad.
nope,
That's my
not
rant. The end.
Frank
No.
says, and I quote, every app should be on the App Store. If it's not on the App Store, it doesn't exist. I hate Homebrew. Quote, unquote, Frank Krueger.
Well, that last part I actually have said several times. I believe in public, so that's fine. Look, and you can hate Homebrew without applauding the effort of all the people who work very hard at Homebrew. Homebrew is the package manager for Mac. great. Developers, we like package managers. Everyone hates tarballs. No one wants to run compilers from the command line, and running configure and installing CMake. No one wants to do any of that stuff. I can say all of that and still say I hate Homebrew. I think it is some of the worst software out there. It's ridiculous. You install some piece of software on it. It installs 6 different versions of Python. None of those Python versions are actually available in your environment. The moment you try to install a package into those, this is like, it's a managed environment. You can't even install a package into this Python. So like, it is a very quick way to put a lot of software on your machine that you'll never use ever again. And every time you execute it, it downloads half of the internet. That's fine, though. I'm a very patient developer. I'm willing to go through all this nonsense so I can get yet another version of GCC that is compatible with yet another version of Rust. Also, I can compile some Python code that has like a CUDA extension. Fine. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to bloat my hard drive. But what I don't understand is when people write consumer-facing software that is obviously meant for non-developers who don't want to deal with all of that nonsense, why they would choose that as a deployment path. And I get it if you're a developer writing developer software, because developers, we have thick skins. They don't go on podcasts and complain about how terrible package managers are.
Yeah,
they just run the command line blindly from the internet, and they just hope their computer doesn't get fried in the meantime.
Or your AI agent does it for you.
Right. But that's not nice to do to what I like to call real people, non-developers. Real people should be protected from malicious software through sandboxes and through security settings on their computer. They should be warned when the microphone, I actually do believe this, you should be warned if something's using the microphone on your computer, and it should go through a whole bunch of security stuff. I think I can argue about how good or bad the user interface is for that security stuff, but it's there for a reason. I think comments and star ratings, although they are the bane of my existence and will cause me to have to wait until I'm 80 years old to retire, they're important to knowing what software is good, what software is popular, all that kind of stuff. And Brew bypasses all of that. Distributing consumer-facing software through a developer package manager bypasses all of that stuff. And so when you were talking about Zoomit being released for Mac, I made a semi-snide, and I apologize. I shouldn't have been quite so snide. But I'm like, we should stop normalizing distributing software through Brew. Brew is a good package manager. It's good for dev tools. If you need 12 versions of GCC on your machine, that's the way to do it. But if you write a user-facing app, just put it on the App Store. It's not that big a deal. If your app isn't like a Bitcoin miner, it'll probably get approved. Just get it on the App Store.
I'm a big fan of apps. I'm a big fan of app stores. I gotta admit, I think developer tools that are doing certain things and need updates and or whatever, I think it's totally fine. It's very fascinating. Like I do think like the Copilot CLI, the GitHub Copilot app. I even think Visual Studio and VS Code are on like the marketplace that you can just get. I'm pretty sure they're on the App Store and on Winget and on Brew. I'm pretty sure you can get them everywhere.
Yeah.
And those are developer tools. I think it just takes a little bit more time. And that means you need to bake it into your release plan, right? Like I need to get this thing out, but I need to wait. And how far do I wait, or how much am I going to support or get this through the system? I do think that my general flow, so like Tiny Clips, for example, is a great example that started on Brew and it grew to Test Flight, and then it grew to the App Store. Now on Windows, it's only Winget, but I do plan on putting it onto the App Store. I'm actually not happy with it yet, where it's not in the state that I think it's App Store worthy. So I think this is where the Windows one, the Mac one, totally, it's on there. It's good to go. And it's on there. No, it just means that it gets updates not as frequent because I got to do extra work to do it. Yeah. Like all the Brew stuff, and even to some extent the Test Flight stuff is automated because whenever I do a push, it just does it. And when I tag a release, it goes. Granted, I could automate that too. But normally my cadence is about a month worth of updates to get into a really good place, lots of testing, and then do a very healthy release to the App Store, where I might
Good.
do like a month or a weekly or every other day release to Homebrew, for example. But on Windows, it's on Winget, which is just like Homebrew. Basically, it's a Windows package management system. Windows get it, and I would say that it's not on the App Store yet because I don't think it's ready to be consumer facing. It's almost like beta. Like I want my dev friends to test it and people that are willing to go through the effort. Because
Yeah.
I would say I'm not ready to put it up to a place that I can get a 1-star review.
And there's the crux. Because it'll get that 1-star review at some
Yep.
point, right? Or, I mean, honestly, you should be thankful for 1-star reviews sometimes, because like the worst review is no reviews.
Yeah.
Like your product doesn't make any indent in the world. So I think we're kind of in agreement, but we're coming at it from different perspectives, because we both kind of said the same thing. It's I don't know. You said you have to wait a month and batch a bunch of updates because you want to test them and make sure it's good. Yeah, that's what we should all be doing with real software versus, VS Code. Every other hour I open it, it says like, you want to update me? And then I switch to ChatGPT. It's like, do you want to update me? I'm like, yeah, sure, fine. Switch to this app. Do you want to update me? Yeah, sure, fine. I feel like, fewer high quality releases is a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that you have to take a step back and plan through and think through your releases and increase the quality to a point where you don't think you'll get those 1-star reviews. That said, if you're releasing to the dev community, we all have thick skins. We're all accustomed to being abused and software making a trash heap of our machines. And there is no review system, so you don't get that negative feedback. All you get is a little issue in GitHub that's very easy to ignore. It doesn't affect you financially. It doesn't affect your reputation. Every repo has 1,000 unclosed issues.
Yeah.
And on GitHub, the stars only increase. It's you don't get 1-star reviews. The stars just go up and up and up. It's a genius move. I mean, some people have millions of stars. How's that even possible?
It's true.
So it's just, I guess, it's just, if it's good software, then stand behind it. Make it good, polish it, and release it.
Yeah.
If it's beta garbage, put a big beta garbage label on it and say that too. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from putting on the Windows Store and putting the giant word beta on here and putting
That's
in the
true.
description, y'all use at your own risk. I don't know if it'll actually get through review. I don't know if anyone's even reviewing anything on the Windows Store anymore. Microsoft Store, I believe it's called. But I still feel like, well, my argument online, and I'm switching topics a little bit here, is I can't recommend this software to anyone who's not a developer right now.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to ask them to go install Brew and go through that madness on their own machine.
Yep.
I will tell them, go to the Microsoft Store and download it. That's a very plausible thing to do. Yep. Or go to Steam and download it. Go to some app store and download it. That's valid. Yep. I think, and that's the world we live in now. We used to live in the world where you download a zip and install it. We don't live in that world anymore. So I just think if you write something, if you put the effort into making it, put the 2 hours it takes to polish it enough to put it on an app store. It's really not rocket science. It's literally a couple hours of work. It's not the worst. Just do it.
I think just do it. No, I totally agree. And I think that it's just that extra little polish that's over there. And I'm guilty of it too. Obviously, a lot of my apps aren't on there, but they need to be. And I do think that that it's frustrating, especially when they don't get approved, on there. But you're like, okay, cool. But I really like that I have tiny clips, because I feel like that is my app that's like kind of worthy out there to do this thing. And I feel like it's a nice consumer app that's out there. And there's a lot of other folks that have screenshot tools, but they're not on the App Store. They're all on Homebrew, right? Yeah. So I feel like that is actually advantage for me to put it out there, because it's an additional layer of commitment at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's commitment on your part, and it's security and reassurance on the user's part. Yeah. We as developers hate app review because they kind of control our fate. But from a consumer standpoint, that's a good thing. Yeah. That means we're not putting absolute garbage on their machines. Now, that said, there's absolute garbage on the app stores. Don't worry about that. Garbage still makes it through. But I think from the consumer perspective, it's treat customers with dignity. And their dignity is, I'm going to put a little bit of effort into making sure the software is good on your computer.
Yeah.
That said, if your software actually does, for whatever reason, use a feature of the operating system that does not work in the sandbox, A, go read the docs because it probably can be and you just don't have the right entitlement. But B, then it's okay to say, hey, my software is super sophisticated and it can totally burn your machine down.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm only releasing it through Brew. That's fine too. And then what you mentioned on X was, how about both? And I'm honestly fine with that also. But I think that if you write user-facing software, put it on an app store. Don't expect people, and it doesn't even have to be the Apple one. Like I have an AppStat, which shows you your sales statistics for all your software you're selling on the app stores, and Apple wouldn't approve it. And we've talked about that on here. So I put that on Gumroad. I didn't put it on my own website. I still decided it should be on an app store. Okay, fine. Apple won't allow it on their app store, but I still feel like putting it on a real app store that has at least some decent reputation is a good thing. See also Steam. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what's Hanselman's called? Tiny Tooltown.
Tiny Tooltown.
Yeah, Tiny Tooltown. That's an app store.
That's an app
Doesn't
store.
have as long a reputation as all the others, but it's an app store. There's someone paying attention to what's on there. It's not all viruses yet. It's just a countdown until something becomes viruses if someone's not maintaining it.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the other security part that you're talking about is it's like out there, it's doing things, it's got the review, and yeah.
I think the things that we hate as developers are the things that consumers like, and you gotta come to terms with that. And it's really just a few hours of work. Anyway, was that a rant worth having? I don't know. I think I just hate Brew. You can ignore everything I just said and just replace it with Frank hates Brew. That's fine.
I think that the one thing that I find fascinating. So I never really used Homebrew a lot, nor did I ever really use Winget a lot. However, I have found recently that Winget, and I'm not sure, I don't think Brew works this way, and it can't possibly work this way. I don't think. I guess I don't know. But let's say I install Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio through an installer, or even through the App Store. It has an identifier, and then Winget can still update it.
Yeah.
Like, I guess if, when I install Visual Studio 2026, today I went Winget update all, and it was like, cool, I'm updating Visual Studio. I'm going to get that thing. So I did find, like, for batch updating, I found that really nifty. Just say, hey, I have a bunch of software on my machine. I want to update it. Instead of like updating a bunch of uploaders and things, boom,
Brew has
getting
it.
that.
Yep, Brew has it. You know what else has it? The Mac App Store. You can just say update all.
But like, yeah, that's also true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. But I think because like on Windows, the majority of software, and Mac's the same too. Like, I guess like if I install Visual Studio Code from like I download the DMG and I have it.
Yeah.
Can I do Brew upgrade and then it upgrades VS Code? No. Winget will.
Brew, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's enough metadata there and it's clever enough to actually do it. That's cool. That is cool.
As far as I know, so that one is a nice perk where it's not actually coming from the App Store, right? It's like, oh, I'm downloading this developer tool, and it doesn't matter if I downloaded it originally from Winget or I downloaded it somewhere else. And I also think that like inside the App Store, like Power Toys, for example, is in the App Store, but it just launches the installer.
Yeah,
it's not like the same. Like there's kind of like this hybrid model.
Internal stuff always had the wackiest ways to distribute their code, so I'm a little hesitant to mark on it because they did some crazy ways to distribute their software. So I don't even know what their current setup is, to be honest.
I think it's in the App Store. I think sysinternals is in the App Store.
Fantastic. Good for them, because they had some wacky ways to install. Because I'm a big fan of Process Explorer. I still think that's some of the greatest software out there.
Yeah.
But man, that was always a wacky way to install that puppy.
Yeah.
And the way he packaged the 64-bit version. Oh my God. Crazy times back in those those days.
There you go. Well, there's our rant and rave episode. I don't even know what we talked about. We talked about something.
Updates. I think once a year we talk about updating software. We'll just call it that. And Frank hates Brew. You can just title it that.
Frank hates Brew. I
And
mean,
and
let's
to
just be
anyone,
honest.
if
It's
you're a
okay.
developer on Brew, thank you. Thank you for your service, because we all use you.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm saying,
Necessary.
like, don't use Brew. We use Brew.
Yeah.
We rely on Brew. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just
Yep.
don't distribute user-facing apps that way, please.
Yeah. There you go. All right, everyone. That's going to do it for this week's. That's the best way to, it's probably the best way to get FFmpeg, probably. Just saying. Anyways, this is going to do it for this week's, bring it full circle. This week's Merge Conflict. So until next time, I'm James Montemagno.
And I'm Frank Kruger. Thanks for watching and listening.
Peace.